Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've had an Evocati tech preview attempting some big improvements to AI and Vulcan, as well as some hidden updates in there as well. I want to talk about that and medical gameplay, because medical gameplay looks to be a big focus of Alpha 4.3.1, and we've had some sneak peeks on that. We've had Cloud Imperium talk about that a bit. We know that the Apollo's coming next month and some new medical gameplay and lots of cool stuff. So I kind of want to talk about all of that, and even the use of medbeds at Onyx facilities, things like that as well. The podcast, that will be tomorrow. It's bank holiday today. Zin has it off. You've got just me. So I've looked at that sneak peek in the newsletter a little bit more now. So we've got the sneak peek, and it's like a battery charging station for something. And I said, it looks like it might be medical because of the person with the sort of surgical gloves nearby. Lots of other people have said similar thing. People have said these are potentially medical batteries, and that kind of makes sense to me. So let's do a little bit of theorycraft. So yeah, if these are potentially medical batteries, something you need to charge, some form of resource, well, that's interesting for medbeds, medical facilities. CIG have said that medical gameplay is going to be changing soon, and obviously, as they move towards Death of the Spaceman, quite a lot, right? And we know that the next patch, we're going to have the Apollo, we're going to have a load of new medical updates, or more information is going to be dropping. I do think that there is going to be some new medical gameplay with 4.3.1. That's the expectation anyway. But what if respawning and healing was based on a resource, like a medical battery that you need to put into your med beds or your medical facilities? I think that makes sense. And then maybe tier 3 beds, sort of like the lowest tier, they might not be as good, they might not be as efficient at using that resource. You might not be able to get very many respawns, if any, out of a tier 3 med bed. So this sort of would introduce costs, limits, and times associated with medical beds and respawning, and incentives to maybe not die as much. It'll be interesting to see how CIG want to do Death of the Spaceman. It's quite possible that you're relatively safe if you're spawning at certain locations, or you've got like enough medical juice left in the med bed, but maybe it's much more dangerous if you haven't, that sort of stuff. And then do you have to buy this resource? Do you recharge it? It looks like there's a recharging point in the sneak peek. So yeah, maybe tier 1 facilities have med chargers. Who knows? I'm just sort of theory crafting there. Maybe you can charge the batteries at landing zones at medical facilities, things like that. Also, interestingly, medical beacons are disabled in 4.3. CIG are trying to get them ready for 4.3.1. Please tell me what you think is going on with medical gameplay and that sort of stuff in 4.3.1. What are you expecting from the Apollo? What are you expecting gameplay-wise to be added, if anything, in that 4.3.1 patch? I do want to do a little bit of a public service announcement, a PSA, on respawning people at the Onyx facility med stations. So you can drag someone and put them in the sort of medibeds at the Onyx facilities and then revive them there if you want to. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you downed someone and you didn't know if they were hostile or not, or if you find someone and you don't know if they're hostile or not, rather than just reviving them there and risk them shooting you, you can drag them back to those Onyx facilities and boom, just revive them there. Obviously, if you don't have a med gun or something like that, again, that's a good place to take them back to. I saw a couple of people talking about that on Reddit, and there was a YouTube video from Hybrid Audio, I believe. Good job at reminding me that, because I had totally forgotten you could revive people like that. It's weird that you can't spawn at those sort of Onyx facilities, but maybe you will be able to in 3.4.1. But let's wait and see. Evocati tech preview. So there was a tech preview build that went out over the weekend, just a 4-hour short little test for Evocati members. The goals of that tech preview were to showcase and get some feedback on the latest Vulcan and AI updates. No engineering gameplay in there yet, at least not yet. Pretty rough build in terms of stability and performance. There was some pretty bad things that prevented players taking items out of inventory kiosks. Also, I believe the build was more based on 4.2.1 rather than 4.3. Actually, CIG said, other than the additions, the game should simply match 4.2.1 live in terms of what players can do. So I'm assuming that it was on 4.2.1's code base. I'd expect there to be more tests on this in the coming couple of weeks, and as soon as it's more stable, they'll open it up to potentially all players on the tech preview to see these new updates. What updates were there though? So, Vulkan improvements for Vulkan integration. This update brings Vulkan improvements done in Squadron 42 into Star Citizen builds. Graphic and engine optimizations from Squadron 42. The game should just be more performant in certain situations. Vulkan on by default, so yeah, that's the default option now. You have to switch back to DirectX 11 if you want to compare. There are a load of traditional and exotic graphics options that have appeared as well, giving you a load more scale and choice in your graphics options in the options menu. Also, it has much better support for things like DLSS and DLAA. There were some AI behavior improvements as well, so there is now a more consistent and complete first reaction implementation. This is how the AI first responds to perception information like vision, hearing, radar, and other events. Depending on time and event strength, dependent on how far away the audio or visual event was, they increase a perception meter, and this determines when the AI will perform different levels of perception behavior, starting with turning their head, turning their body, triggering an investigation, or going into combat. This is all supported by animations to show a different silhouette when switching between the behaviors, whilst remaining responsive to the actions of the player. We've also added hooks in for the designers to script level-specific behaviors when AI reach different awareness levels, e.g. to radio for backup. Tactics, Defender, Strafer, and Pusher have all had a major overhaul to be more distinct, while allowing customization of response through different traits that allow the designers to set up different preferences for AI's use of cover. Cover usage has been improved, including better support for switching body direction, which way is faced when in cover, and the addition of cover reactions, animations used to provide responsive feedback when the player compromises an AI's cover by moving around to strafe them. They will no longer continue to blindly fire as if the player had done nothing. A large part of the combat tactic work has been adjusting our TPS, tactical position queries, used to determine what cover and non-cover positions to use across each of the different tactics, with specific queries for each one, a better understanding of what is required, and fallback cases for when no perfect cover or position is available. All of the combat behavior has had a lot of work put into integrating other behaviors in with combat, be this ammo management, choosing when to move to cover to reload, pick up ammo from ammo crates, switching to sidearms when moving, etc. Grenade throwing to draw out the target when unreachable. This works more consistently. There are built-in timeouts to space grenade usage across a group, grenade collision improvements, and implementing functionality to explode a grenade if it is dropped, e.g. if the AI is shot whilst throwing. Medical behavior, ensuring the animation flows for medics work more consistently across reviving, healing, etc. Weapon improvements, support for more firing modes to allow the AI to use new weapons, beam and dynamic conditions, including weapons that overheat. A general overhaul of the AI weapon interface to simplify and unify response. Improvements to aiming to support the target being partially behind cover. That is a massive suite of AI updates, and obviously that's a lot of the Squadron 42 work that are putting in this build now, so hopefully that'll be working and all good for September. Typically CIG use the tech preview build either because they want feedback before a major patch, and like before a big section of a major patch is ready, so they go, oh, let's test what is available, bam, get feedback, and then chuck this all on the PTU later when the patch is sort of, rest of the patch is ready. Or they'll go, oh cool, yeah, it's a tech preview build, we'll phase it into the current live branch when it's ready. Admittedly, sometimes they do neither, and they go, yeah, this all requires more testing, so back to the drawing board or back to the fixes board, and we'll re-implement some of this and then chuck it back on the tech preview at a later date. Some other bits in that patch that people noticed: some helmets are physicalized and they have stow animations when not on your head, like you put them on your belt or back or whatever. Characters apparently look way better. Like way better. This is really interesting. Very much looking forward to seeing that. There are bits of emissions and FPS scanning radar updates in this patch too. It's possible engineering could turn up at some point during the tech preview or soon after. I always live in hope. But yeah, that's your updates for today for that Evocati tech preview build. Very excited to get my hands on that. I want to see better characters. I want to see all these improvements. I like Vulkan being the focus because CIG can, as they've done with this patch, put a load of traditional graphics options in and make everything so much more performant, and they can fix a lot of bugs and stuff by focusing on that more unified way of doing things with Vulkan. So yeah, cool, super excited for that. Really interested to know what you think. Did you play in that Evocati build? What do you think? We'll obviously talk and show more about it once we're allowed to. As with Evocati builds, you can talk about them as much as you want, but you shouldn't really show any footage or anything like that, because it's part of their NDA to not show footage or take pictures or audio from the game when it's in Evocati. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments below, and get yourself some NordVPN. Click the links below, get a massive discount on NordVPN, or you're happy because you've got better accessibility, security, and privacy on the internet. And privacy and accessibility is something that people very much want nowadays. I use NordVPN. You'll love NordVPN. Helps out the channel too. Click, or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and we're giving away an RSI Meteor, that new medium fighter with lifetime insurance and a gameplay package for Star Citizen. Everything you need to play with a cool fighter and pew-pew some fools. Just comment on any of our videos made during this month to be in for a chance of winning that. Something else that you might like to do is like, share, subscribe to our videos. There's a join button underneath as well. There's Patreon. You give us a little bit of money each month and it helps out the channel immensely. Occasionally we have some exclusive videos. Come to my Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer. Also, you should comment on all the videos, not just because of the giveaway, but also because you can give me feedback. And I want to say a massive thank you to the people that have supported the channel via any medium. But genuinely, you guys that go the extra mile to use that join button or Patreon, it is genuinely so appreciated. Thank you so much.